Hey, you guys. Welcome to Melissa Valentine's Nursery. My name is Melissa, and if you're new here, welcome. This right here is Joseph, who's going to be joining us during this video. This is the Victor sculpt. He is, I guess, a McPherson's kid. I don't know. You guys, I don't really know my sculptors well, and I really should. But this is a portrait baby of my son. And of course, you know, most of my babies in this nursery have been brought to life by Natalie Fakebridge, Precious Reborn's Nursery. If you don't know her, check her out on Facebook. I always give her a nice little shout out because, you know, she's painted a lot of my babies and she's pretty good. I've never had a bad experience with her. You know, so if you don't know me, I work all the time. And if you do know me, I worked last night, obviously, you know, I'm BSing in blue here. So, you know, I worked last night. And I got home, I actually got home on time, you know, and I was actually going to stop off at the thrift store. But I realized I'm broke like everybody else. I mean, you know, some of us are more broke than others. And so you make things work. So when I got home, you know, I work third shift, so I don't always want breakfast. So I made like a breakfast pizza. Not really even a breakfast pizza. Like it had pepperoni and stuff on it. Like I just made a pizza with what I had. I had tortilla shells, like the soft ones, and I put it in a baking pan with a little bit of oil, and I put it in there, and I just put whatever on top. I had some cheese, and I put whatever. And I was reading my book, because I read, and I said, let me get into reading instead of turning the TV on. I said, I'm going to read a little bit. That's another hobby I have. I haven't really been reading much, but I was reading my book. And then my, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Breakfast, dinner, meal, whatever. After work indulgence was ready. And I was eating at the kitchen table and doing a little thinking. And as you all know, if you're here all the time, you know Sandra at Sandra's Frozen in Time Reborns. And if you don't, that's my bestie from out westy. So check her out. But her and I was doing text to talk while I was driving home. And we were talking about, you know, we weren't talking about the hobby. We were just talking about bills. But then, you know, I was sitting at the table and, you know, for me to get a doll now, I really have to save. But I was thinking, after I was just, my mind sitting at the table, I was like hyper focused in my thoughts. And I started taking my medication, and I started, you know, I take like blood pressure medicine and, you know, antidepressants and acid reflux and all my shit, bladder medicine. And I was sitting there and I was like, God, Big Pharma's got me good. And I started thinking about what pills I could possibly cut down on. But like, I'm honestly at my bare minimum. And then I started thinking, because I knew I wanted to do a video today, and I knew I was going to hit up the doll room. This is my nursery, my doll room. And I thought to myself, a great topic would be to thrift or not to thrift for the babies. I don't know why this pacifier is doing that. That doesn't make sense to me. So to thrift or not to thrift, right? That is the question. When I started getting into this hobby, I thrifted all the time. I actually, you know, I normally typically don't do like shopping for myself, shopping sprees. It has to be like a need. I've always been that way. When I was, you know, a little younger, it was different. When I was like 19, 20. But like, as I'm an adult, like, I don't find joy in going clothing shopping for myself. I don't. So I was thinking, to thrift or not to thrift for our babies at this point in time, in life, for everybody. When I first started this hobby, I'm just going to take that off of him. I thrifted. No big deal. You go, you look, you find like close to new looking stuff. You know what I'm saying? And, it is what it is. But as you progress through the hobby, your habits also change. And that's something we also talked about previously in other videos. So it looked like my piercing was disappeared, but maybe I'm just tired and I don't have my glasses on. I took them off. If you know me, I don't like the rings, so I take them off unless I'm reading something. Anyway, long story short. So evolving through the hobby, I realized that sometimes you can catch sales. You can catch sales and get clothing items for a really decent price, brand new. And I have done a thrifting exchange through with a viewer in my on my channel. And I don't know if that was last year or something. And some people have amazing thrift stores where you can find like items for like $1 or less. Unfortunately, here, there's only one thrift store that you can do that on certain days. And it's the best one that I've got out of tons around here. And I have found in my journey that Walmart has got like their Geranimals lines where you can get a shirt for $2, $3, whatever it is. Do you feel more satisfied shopping for your babies with something like that versus going to Goodwill or Once Upon a Child and getting something of maybe a higher quality for a little bit more of the price? Or maybe the same price, because a lot of people who give their baby clothes to Goodwill or Once Upon a Child, children outgrow their clothes really, really quickly. So would you feel better spending $3 on something brand new, like the Geranimals line, or even, Walmart sometimes has like $7 outfits, for the babies? Would you rather do that? Or would you rather spend, $5 on a pre-used Gap outfit from the thrift store? What do you prefer in your hobby? Now, of course, if me and Sandra, like we talked about previously in one of our videos, we went through this Kate Quinn obsession. And that was only when their items were on sale. They had these like one-piece outfits that were like one-piece clothing things that was like $11. And for Kate Quinn, we were like, oh yeah, okay, which one are you getting? Which one are you getting? And there was a lady also on Macari that would also sell clothes really cheap. And they were unused, like brand new. And so always trying to save a buck, right? If you're always trying to save a buck and do something within the hobby, what's your preference? I have walked around Walmart, and it would have to be something that was really something I really liked. Now, there's been many times I've walked around Walmart and I have not liked anything, or I felt like they did not have anything, right? I felt like they did not have my taste or what I was looking for. I actually went to Once Upon a Child for the first time ever about 2 months ago. It was actually in January, so maybe 3 months ago now that we're in April, because it's April Fool's Day, you guys. So I went to Once Upon a Child, and they had some nice stuff. They have brand name stuff there. And you're going to pay a little more for some of this stuff than Walmart. You can get stuff brand new at Walmart for like $12. but you can get pre-used stuff that's good name brand stuff at Once Upon a Child for like $3 or $4. So like, you're going to have to weigh out your options. What do you prefer? Now, you know, if you watch Sandra, she likes H&M. She likes to get sales from H&M and Carter's. I like to shop at Carter's, but they have to have like deals, and they have to have good deals. For me, I do like to have the nicer quality clothes. But would you rather buy it new, the higher quality clothes, or would you rather buy them thrifted? Or would you rather just go to Walmart and buy something for $6, $7? And some things are like $12. It's like, what's your preference? I like very lightly used stuff if I'm going to buy it pre-used. I don't like anything that looks used, you know? If it looks a little used, yeah. But it has to be in good shape. I don't mind at all. I actually went to Once Upon a Child, and I'm trying to see. I'm in the drawer over here. Sorry, you guys. I bought some clothes. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever used them, to be honest. Or have I? I don't think so. And I'll be honest. I think I got like a sweater, pants, and a top. And I think that outfit was like, I don't know, less than $8. So pre-used outfit for $8. Mind you, the quality was pretty good. Or a $7 outfit brand new from Walmart, right? We sometimes have to weigh our options. And in this hobby, if we just don't have the money to constantly spend, you know, we have to be frugal. So I have treated myself. Like from my little Joseph here, I went on Etsy, and Carla had given me some birthday money. And so I used the birthday money on one item, and then said, well, I'm going to go ahead and get out of my own pocket another item. And so it would actually cost me half off out of my own pocket. You know what I'm saying? So like, you have to like sometimes juggle like that, right? And that's okay. It is what it is. It's part of life. But some of us don't like to put used clothes on our babies. And some of us don't mind as much. I don't mind as much. I don't mind. It just has to look nice. It has to look nice. I remember I was taking Sandra on a video. Was it a video, or was it like just video clips? I went to the thrift store, and the good thrift store, and going through the clothes, I think it was like $1.50 or $1 per piece. And literally they put a shitted up outfit on the rack. No joke. No joke. Ask Sandra about it. No joke. I could not believe that. And I was like, that's gross. She could not believe it. She got a good laugh out of that. I communicate with her a lot about certain things. And today we were just talking about bills and, you know. But it came to my mind about to thrift or not to thrift baby clothes. A lot of my baby clothes I get as gifts. Me and Sandra, we give gifts to each other. Now, I will tell you, a lot of the times we will shop deals. We will shop deals. Always looking to see what's on sale. There was one time Carter's had these sweaters on sale. She's like, Melissa, you know, we got to get these sweaters. So I was like, okay, cool. I still have mine, you know. I keep everything, but every now and then I clean house. But, you know, in the doll community, for many of us, I feel like, and I may be getting ahead of myself here, I feel like many of us do not mind the thrifted clothes. And I think that's a great thing. And I also, like, you know, babies don't necessarily always use their clothes all the time. They may wear them one time and, you know, but that's it, you know. you could, sometimes at the store, you'll see things that have been like overly used. But most of the time when I go there and I flip through like the baby stuff, newborn, a lot of that stuff looks pretty close to new. You know, but I just figured I'd get on here for a short video, nothing too long, and talk about it, because that's what's been, you know, I get on here and I talk about whatever's going on in my life. And so me and Sandra were talking about our money woes. And so we were discussing that. If you haven't watched her video, you need to go check her out. Yesterday, let me tell you. So she talked about something that happened to me yesterday. So I get in these moments where I'm all over the place, and I was trying to get myself ready for bed. And I was in a little bit of a rush, and well, I wasn't really in a rush. How can I say it? I was like, okay, I got to eat. I got to take my medicine. I want to put this documentary on. So I put the documentary on. It was like a crime documentary. And I'm making hot dogs, 2 hot dogs in the frying pan. I have 2 buns out. I put them on the plate. I'm just quickly like grabbing and everything. And I had some sauerkraut. On occasion, I eat sauerkraut on my hot dog. And I had the sauerkraut in a bowl and put it in the microwave and just heated it up. And then I took my hot dogs and quickly put them on the bread. And I know for a fact that there was nothing inside the buns. The buns were clean because I literally like opened them up. I wasn't looking on the outside. I was opening them up. And I put the hot dogs in there, and then I put some sauerkraut on top, and I went to go to the sit down in the living room and watch television. And I start eating the first one. I'm watching TV. I'm not really paying attention, you know, and I ate it. And then I start to eat the second one, and I look on the side of the bun. Well, I notice that there's like this little black area. Not really black, but like a gray. And I look, and it's fucking mold. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. So I like take my hot dog, I take my wiener out of the thing, and I eat it just, you know, normal, like, you know, and I threw out the bun. And I look at the buns that wasn't supposed to go out till like April, in the middle, like the first week in April. And the whole, like the pack, the outsides of the buns was mold. The insides wasn't. That's why, I guess the insides wasn't. I don't know. But I know the outside part was moldy. I thought I was going to die. And then Sandra was texting me, and, you know, sometimes like we need each other and we'll communicate. She's like, Melissa, I really need to talk to you. And I'll try my best. And I was like, girl, I just took 2 sleeping pills, you know? And she was like, blah, 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 you know, telling me her concerns and everything. And I'm like, don't feel bad. I just ate a moldy bread. Like I just ate moldy hot dog bun. And I made her laugh a little bit. But I was concerned because I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't wake up sick. But I lived. Hopefully it had the penicillin effect. Hopefully if I had any bacteria, it killed it. We're going to be hopeful that it was more like a penicillin effect. You know, and then I texted Joe. And I was like, Joe, I threw the buns out. We have no buns for our hot dogs. And the thing is, like, I didn't buy them long ago. So, but I did have them by my coffee maker. So maybe that's why, possibly. I don't know. Maybe the coffee machine, maybe the hot dog buns being by the coffee machine made it do that. You know what I'm saying? But you guys, I've been wanting to pick up this little bunker here. I've been wanting to pick him up. Oh, yeah, to pick him up. And have you guys seen Carla's new little baby from Anna at Ling's Reborn Nursery? She got a little bunker. And she actually was trying to like surprise everybody. It was a big secret. She didn't tell nobody. But then when she goes to open up the box, she tells you what sculpt it is. She pulled a me because I did that. I think I did that before. So that was funny. I was like, haha. But the baby's pretty. Pretty eyes. Very different, in my opinion, for Anna's regular babies. But it worked. So that was nice. But you guys, I know this is not going to be a long video, but I just figured I'd get on here and talk about, you know, since we're in a time, would you thrift clothes for your baby, your reborn dolls, or no? For me, it doesn't matter as long as it looks decent, you know? Now, don't get me wrong. I do like nice stuff. I do like good quality shit sometimes. And it's even better if I can find it lightly used, if not used at all, at the thrift store, right? But like my prices around here of my thrift stores, some of them are shit. It's like, come on, I can buy this for new. I can buy this new. But if you can find it for like 99 cents, $1, you know, take it home, you know. So I think I'm going to spend some time with this little bunker. My son doesn't get home till 1:30, and I'll be asleep by then. So, yeah. He's so sweet, you guys. He's so sweet. I don't get to spend a lot of time with him. Come on up here, little Joey. Come on up here, little Joey. This is my forever, ever baby. I got a couple of them. But, the one baby. Now, I've come to terms also. I want a portrait baby for Christmas of myself, if I can manage. And, you know, I kind of been thinking, if I don't leave, it's great to go to the doll show and get a baby. It's great. It's great. It's fabulous. Wonderful. But I don't have to leave the doll show with it all. I'm actually going with a few. I think I've decided Teddy, my Teddy sculpt, which I had in my other video yesterday, and this little baby. You know, but I was just like thinking, you know, it's not a requirement for me to come home with, because, you know, I really, really wanted to. And the reality is I really don't have to. I got 7 babies. I know what I want for Christmas. I'm going to work towards that too. You know, but yeah, so I think I'm going to take this little guy in the other room. I don't know if I want to keep his, because Easter's not for like, what, 20 days from now? So I don't know if I want to keep, no, I can keep this on because this is all year round. Because Joey, he had a little, Joseph, my son, he used to love trains, and he had a little bunny that he always had. So, and I have a bunny that's similar that I have bought for him for this one. So I think I'm going to keep this on him. I think this works, you know, and then we'll get comfortable and lay in the bed and I'll cuddle him and I can put him in the cradle. I have to be careful because my little kitten, she's not such a kitten anymore, but I have to train her ass to stay out of my baby stuff because I don't let them in this room, but I have a cradle in my bedroom and a stroller in my living room. And that damn cat. You know, I don't like, what if I got to sell my babies, you know, like, well, I don't typically, but, you know, I don't like to have my animals too much around them. You know, if it's got hair, it's usually from me. Ask anybody in box openings. Ask Beth, ask Sandra. My DNA is over with Sandra at one point. My DNA is with Beth. But yeah, I think I'm going to take this little baby and we're going to watch some YouTube. And we're going to cuddle on the bed until I fall asleep. You know, so, all right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this wasn't a long one, but I really wanted to do a video and I decided to play off of what was going on in my mind. Sitting at the kitchen table, thinking about big pharma and money. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the ring-a-ding bell. And, until next time, love you guys. Bye-bye.